What do you do, or how do you recover when your kids push your buttons and you yell or get frustrated with them? Instead of just talking throughout this whole video, I wanted to make it a little bit more interactive and kind of show you what we do. And my first thought when I was thinking of this question was, you gotta be proactive. You can't just wait for these moments to happen, but you have to be doing things in your life that will prepare you to handle those situations better.
They go on a date. An evening out.
Hey.
Mrs. Burnett turned her attention, getting ready for an evening with Mr. Burnett.
One of the first proactive things that we have made a high priority, thankfully Tim, I think so even more than me, has been just the importance of date nights. And so the two of us have to feel connected and have to feel like we're on the same page, getting along, making memories together.
I like that we just get time away from kids, because it's so easy as parents to, like, our relationships gets consumed and revolves around children. For date night tonight, we're at the Cincinnati Museum of Natural History, and then I have a membership here thanks to our editor Christina, but we haven't actually walked around or checked it out, and so that's what we're doing tonight. By the way, you don't need to spend a lot of money in order to have a date night. We're home early because our babysitters had to go home. And so while the kids are in bed, Dan and I are making some healthy cookies together. I chop up the chocolate and the pecans and mix them up again. Have a yummy, healthy dessert. Yeah, chocolate. You can tell I was the one who chopped up the chocolate.
You're eating the extra.
It's like all over my mouth, yep. It's like healthy 85% dark chocolate.
So another way that I feel like we try to be on top of things before losing our cool with the kids is been getting healthy, eating healthy, making sure that we're taking care of our bodies physically as well. And I think that's been a big difference with I know it has for me, like the way that I feel has improved a lot by just the way that we're eating, cooking and eating. Not only are date nights important for mine and Tim's marriage relationship, but they're also huge and important for my relationship with my kids. And that's probably because, or that is because, probably the #1 thing that can make me short-tempered or frustrated or just easily irritated with my children is when Tim and I aren't getting along. If there's something that he did even unintentionally that hurt my feelings, but we don't have a chance to talk about it, all that time in between being hurt and the time that we get to talk, I have to be so extra careful about what I say, how I act, how I speak to my children, because I have the tendency to take my frustrations out on them when it's not even about them. And that's something that I just have to really be careful about and be aware of, and make sure that we're getting our date nights in.
I said they soak up the milk really quickly. It's a sponge.
The other big proactive thing that I try to do on top of date night is just making sure that I'm being healthy. Making sure I'm drinking enough water, making sure I'm getting all of my supplements. If you've been around here for a while, you know that I have had some thyroid issues, and my thyroid thankfully is getting better, which is a huge praise. But now the most recent thing is my thyroid has been over medicated. So we've been trying to adjust our medication and everything. And this is my big box of supplements that I have been taking to help my thyroid, to help my adrenals, to help just overall health of how I'm doing and feeling. And probably the #1 thing that goes with that is just being aware of how I'm doing and how I'm feeling and what triggers my emotions and how I'm feeling and stuff. So whenever I lose my patience or I get frustrated, like just making a note of what happened? Like, what am I really frustrated at? Because honestly, it's probably maybe 5% or less of the time that I'm actually frustrated with the kid that I lose it with. There's always an underlying, like, I didn't sleep well last night, I haven't eaten in a while, I forgot my supplements, my medication's going crazy, there's conflict with somebody else, or I'm anxious about something coming up in the future. I don't know. It could be a number of anything. And it's rarely the kids. It's rarely the kids that I'm having a struggle with. And so taking note of that and knowing, like, this is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. What can I do about that so that when I'm interacting with my kids who I love dearly and I want to be patient with them, what can I do to make that interaction a whole lot better? Hey, sweet girl. Self-awareness and making sure my marriage is strong and healthy and that we're communicating well. Those are probably the two key factors of being proactive in the way that I treat my children. But of course, there are always the days that I'm not on top of it and I lose it and I have to apologize to my children. Making sure that I apologize to my kids every single time that I mess up is something huge that Tim really instilled in me early on. As soon as I needed to start apologizing to Hannah, being our firstborn, he made sure that, like, you know what, you did something, you need to go apologize to her. And so that was a big thing instilled into me that I really appreciate that he has really trained me in making sure that I correct my wrong. Yeah, they're a kid. Yeah, I'm the adult. It's humbling to go and apologize when you know you've messed up. But the apology is such a shaping factor in our children's lives. Going back to them, showing them how to be sincere in an apology. And that's probably why I have put so much emphasis on being proactive, because I can screw up and I can fuss at my kids, I can yell at them, I can just be rude to them, ignore them. But I can go back and I can apologize for those things, but if my actions don't change, if things continue going on and I'm constantly just apologizing for what I'm doing, but not making a difference in changing why that's happening, it doesn't matter. So apologizing is huge, but then even bigger than that is taking action so it doesn't happen again. And as you continue to work on that, things get better. Hi. Hi. Can you say hi? Say hi. Hi. I'm pretty sure I have messed up with every kid by now. And are you upset just because of the conversation? You don't like having this conversation? Why not?
Happy and mommy.
I told the kids that I wanted to have them kind of share and talk with me a little bit about when I do mess up and have to apologize and everything. Are you upset about thinking about when I have messed up? Yeah. Does it make it better when I apologize? Yeah. What would happen if I didn't apologize? How would that make you feel? Yeah. Would that make it even worse if I didn't apologize? Yeah. So when I come and talk to you, that makes you feel loved again. Do I make mistakes a lot? I do. Does it get better? I'm sorry, buddy. I love you. This past year's been kind of rough with my thyroid and everything, huh? So I've lost my patience quite a bit, and being postpartum after having a baby doesn't help. So it's been a rough year. Has it been better? It's gotten a little bit better than this time last year, probably. I would say, yeah. So apologizing, I think, is probably the #1 thing that helps. Yeah, and just talking to you about it. I usually try to talk to the kids about why I'm frustrated and everything, but that was good to just ask him, like, what's going on? Like, what do you appreciate? What makes you feel better? Gives good insight. The thought of thinking back to times when they aren't good, seeing how much that can be upsetting, is really insightful and just tells me how much more important it is that I need to be proactive with how I act and talk and behave and feel. We've got a bunch of ninjas in our house. They are loving climbing all over the place.
And now my wants you and me to that.
What are you doing? Do you like it whenever I tell you why I'm upset or when I just tell you sorry?
Why you upset and also sorry?
You like both of them. All right, well that's good to know. All right, I love you.